Hey everyone, and welcome back to Future Forward, the podcast that tries to make sense of all this tech madness. I'm your host, Mia.
And I'm Lucas. Glad to be here, Mia.
So glad you could make it, Lucas. We've got a really meaty topic today. You know, the opening scene for this episode just dropped, and it's all about who's really winning the AI race in 2026. It's got me thinking about Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Amazon, and Meta, those 5 big players. It's like a tech titan showdown, right?
Absolutely. It's a fascinating time to be looking at this, for sure.
Okay, let's just dive right in. We're going to break down these 5 AI giants and compare their strategies, just like the intro said. So, Lucas, when we're talking about this AI race in 2026, what's the first big thing that comes to mind for you regarding these companies? All right, so the narrator mentioned these 5 companies, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Amazon, and Meta. It feels like they're all sprinting, but are they running the same race? What's the first major differentiator you see when you look at, say, Google's approach versus Microsoft's, for instance, in this 2026 landscape?
That's a great starting point. You know, Google's strategy has always been deeply rooted in its research prowess. Think about DeepMind. That's a powerhouse of fundamental AI research. Their approach, especially looking at 2026, is really about pushing the boundaries of what's possible with models like Gemini. They're trying to build these foundational models that can then power a whole ecosystem of products and services.
So it's like build the ultimate engine and then bolt it onto everything.
Exactly. They've got this incredible wealth of data from Search, YouTube, Android, all these user-facing products. They can train their models on a scale that's frankly mind-boggling. For them, it's about scaling intelligence, making it more broadly applicable. It's not just about one product. It's about infusing AI into the very fabric of their existing empire.
Wow, that makes sense. It's like they're leveraging their existing dominance to fuel this new AI frontier. So if Google's all about that massive research engine and scaling, where does Microsoft fit into this picture, especially when we're thinking about their strategy in 2026?
Microsoft's strategy is fascinating because it's about partnership and integration. Their massive investment in OpenAI is a game changer. It's like they recognized they needed to accelerate their own cutting-edge model development, and partnering with OpenAI was the smartest, fastest way to do that. Plus, they're integrating these advanced AI capabilities directly into their enterprise software.
Right, like Copilot in Microsoft 365. So it's less about building every single piece from scratch and more about strategically acquiring or partnering for the best tech and then embedding it everywhere their customers already are.
Precisely. Think about their Azure cloud platform. It's become a crucial infrastructure for many companies, including OpenAI. So they're not just investing in the AI models, they're providing the backbone for them to run and scale. It's a symbiotic relationship. They provide the computing power and the distribution channels through their software suite.
That's such a smart play, though. It's like they're playing chess while others are playing checkers. They're thinking about the entire ecosystem. What about OpenAI, then? They're not quite a traditional tech giant like Google or Microsoft, but they're a massive player in this AI race. What's their angle in 2026?
OpenAI's angle is unique. They started as a research lab with a mission to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. Their strategy is centered on building increasingly capable AI models, like GPT-4 and whatever comes next, and then making them accessible through APIs and specific products like ChatGPT. They're pushing the frontier of model performance above all else.
So their focus is really on the pure AI model development, the cutting edge. But they're also partnering with Microsoft for infrastructure and distribution, which is key, right? It's like they're the brilliant scientist who teams up with the big corporation to bring their invention to the world.
That's a pretty good way to put it. They're at the bleeding edge of generative AI, and their models have, in many ways, set the benchmark. Their success has forced all the other players to react and accelerate their own development. They are a pure AI-first company, and that singular focus allows them to iterate rapidly on their core technology.
It's crazy how much impact one company can have, especially when they're so focused. Now let's shift gears a bit to Amazon. When we think about AI in 2026, Amazon's name definitely comes up, but their strategy feels a bit different. What are they doing that sets them apart from Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI?
Amazon's AI strategy is deeply integrated with its core businesses, e-commerce, cloud computing with AWS, and its devices like Alexa. They're not necessarily chasing the most groundbreaking foundational models in the same way OpenAI or Google might be. Instead, they're focused on applying AI to enhance customer experience and streamline operations. Think about their recommendation engines, their logistics and warehouse automation, and, of course, Alexa's capabilities.
Oh, wow. So it's more about practical, everyday applications like using AI to make shopping smoother or making their warehouses run like clockwork. And Alexa, that's been around for a while, right? That's their voice AI. So it's about refining and expanding those existing strengths?
Exactly. And with AWS, they're also providing AI services to other businesses. They offer tools for machine learning, data analytics, and pre-trained AI models. So while they're developing their own models, like the ones powering Alexa or their e-commerce personalization, they're also building a robust AI platform for others to use. It's a dual approach: internal application and external service provision.
Gotcha. So they're both using AI to supercharge their own empire and selling AI tools to help other empires grow. That's a pretty solid two-pronged attack. And then we have Meta. When I think of Meta and AI, I immediately think of their huge push into the metaverse. But how does that tie into the broader AI race in 2026?
Meta's approach is ambitious and has a long-term vision tied to the metaverse. But their AI research is also incredibly significant, often underappreciated. They're investing heavily in open-source AI models. Think about Llama. They've been quite vocal about their commitment to open-sourcing their large language models, which is a very different strategy from, say, OpenAI or Google, who keep their most advanced models proprietary.
Open-sourcing their models? So they're giving away the recipe in a way? That seems counterintuitive if you're trying to win a race. Why would they do that?
Well, their argument is that open sourcing accelerates innovation across the entire field. By making powerful models available, they foster a wider community of developers and researchers who can build upon and improve them. This can lead to faster progress overall and can also help Meta build a strong ecosystem around their platforms and future metaverse applications. It's a bet that the ecosystem effect will ultimately benefit them.
It's like they're planting seeds everywhere and hoping for a forest to grow, which will then have their trees in it. That's a very different philosophy. So to recap this first section, we've got Google with its research-driven, ecosystem-wide scaling, Microsoft with its strategic partnerships and enterprise integration, OpenAI pushing pure model performance, Amazon focusing on practical applications and its AWS cloud, and Meta championing open-source models. Is that a fair summary of their distinct strategies as we head into 2026?
That's a very fair summary. Each one has a core philosophy that guides their AI investments and development in this competitive landscape.
Okay, this is so interesting. It's like each one has a superpower, but they're all using it in a different way. So after all this, essentially the core idea is each of these giants has a unique approach to AI development and deployment. Let's bookmark that and continue after a break. All right, we're back and still digging into these AI titans. Lucas, we've talked about their overarching strategies, but let's get a bit more granular. The intro mentioned business and productivity as areas AI is reshaping. So for the second topic, let's dive into times how these companies are actually leveraging AI to impact business operations and boost productivity in 2026. Let's start with Microsoft again, given their big push with Copilot. What specific ways is that, or their other AI initiatives, changing how businesses operate?
Microsoft's impact on business productivity through AI is largely channeled through its enterprise suite. With Copilot, for instance, they're aiming to act as a co-pilot for almost every task within Microsoft 365. Imagine writing an email. Copilot can summarize long threads, draft responses, suggest action items, and even help you brainstorm content for presentations or reports.
Whoa. So it's not just about spell check anymore. It's like having a personal assistant embedded into your everyday work tools. That must save a ton of time. But, does it actually understand what you're trying to do, or is it just spitting out generic text?
That's the million-dollar question, and the goal is for it to understand context. It leverages large language models, like those from OpenAI, but it's also trained on your company's data, if you allow it, and your specific Microsoft 365 environment. So it can pull information from your calendar, your documents, your emails, to provide more relevant assistance. For instance, if you need to prepare for a meeting, it can pull up relevant documents and summaries related to the attendees and the meeting topic.
Okay, that's a whole different level. It's like, it's not just a tool. It's an integrated part of your workflow that knows your context. So it's making information retrieval and content creation much faster. What about Google in this productivity space? How are they applying AI to business beyond just search enhancements?
Google's approach is similar in aiming for seamless integration, but they're leveraging their own suite of tools. Think about Google Workspace, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Meet. They're embedding AI features there too. For example, in Gmail, AI can help you summarize long email threads or suggest replies. In Docs, it can help you write, edit, and brainstorm. They're also using AI for things like automating meeting summaries and action item extraction from video calls.
So it's like their version of Copilot, but within the Google ecosystem. It's interesting how everyone's trying to make AI the invisible helper that just gets things done faster. Are there any unique applications of AI for business that Google is pushing that we haven't seen from Microsoft yet?
One area where Google has a strong advantage is in data analysis and AI-powered insights, leveraging their deep expertise in search and information organization. They're increasingly using AI within their cloud offerings, Google Cloud Platform, to help businesses analyze vast datasets, identify trends, and make more informed decisions. This often involves more complex machine learning tasks that go beyond simple text generation or summarization. They're also strong in areas like logistics optimization and supply chain management, applying AI to make those incredibly complex systems more efficient.
That makes sense, given their origins with organizing the world's information. So while Microsoft is heavily focused on the productivity suite, Google is also pushing deeper into data analytics and operational efficiency for businesses. What about Amazon? They've got AWS, their cloud platform, and they're huge in e-commerce. How does AI factor into their business productivity play?
Amazon's impact on business productivity is multifaceted. Through AWS, they provide a vast array of AI and machine learning services that businesses of all sizes can use. This includes everything from basic tools for building custom AI models to more specialized services for areas like natural language processing, computer vision, and forecasting. Many companies that aren't building their own foundational models are essentially renting or using Amazon's AI infrastructure and tools to enhance their own operations.
Right. So they're enabling other businesses to be more productive by giving them the tools and the cloud power. What about their own operations, though? I mean, their warehouses must be a massive AI play.
Absolutely. Their fulfillment centers are a prime example of AI in action for operational efficiency. They use AI for everything from optimizing inventory placement and robotic picking and packing to predicting demand and managing the complex logistics of getting products to customers quickly. AI is deeply embedded in their supply chain to minimize costs and maximize delivery speed, which, in turn, makes their e-commerce business incredibly productive.
It's like a ballet of robots and algorithms, and the goal is always that speed and efficiency, right? So they're enabling others with AWS and optimizing their own massive operations. Now let's talk about OpenAI. Their focus is on the models. But how does that translate to actual business productivity in 2026, beyond just a ChatGPT interface itself?
OpenAI's contribution to business productivity is primarily through its powerful models, made accessible via APIs. Businesses can integrate GPT-4 or newer versions into their own applications and workflows. This allows them to build custom AI solutions for a wide range of productivity tasks. For example, a legal firm might use it to review and summarize contracts, or a customer service department could use it to build a more sophisticated chatbot that can handle complex queries.
So it's less about them providing a finished product for businesses and more about them providing the powerful engine that other companies can then build their own productivity tools with. That feels like a key distinction.
Exactly. They're the enablers of advanced AI capabilities. Companies can leverage their models for things like content generation for marketing, code generation for software development, or even for complex data analysis and scientific research. The flexibility of their API allows for a vast range of applications that enhance productivity in niche and broad ways.
It really highlights that difference between building a specific application and providing a foundational technology. And finally, Meta. We mentioned their open source approach. How does that strategy translate into tangible business productivity gains in 2026?
Meta's open source strategy, particularly with models like Llama, allows businesses to have more control and customization over their AI deployments. Instead of relying on proprietary models from a vendor, companies can download, modify, and fine-tune these open source models to fit their specific needs. This can lead to more cost-effective solutions and greater flexibility, especially for companies that have unique data requirements or are concerned about vendor lock-in.
So it's about empowering businesses to build their own AI solutions without being tied to one provider. That's a really interesting contrast to the more integrated proprietary approaches. But is it practical for smaller businesses to just download and tweak these massive models? It sounds a bit daunting.
It can be, and that's where the ecosystem around these open source models comes into play. There are often third-party platforms and services that help businesses deploy and manage open source AI. But yes, for many, the key benefit is the ability to host these models on their own infrastructure, which can be crucial for data privacy and security. Beyond that, Meta is also using AI to enhance its own productivity tools within its research and development divisions, though those aren't directly commercialized in the same way.
So it's about control, customization, and potentially cost savings for businesses that can manage it. It really shows how diverse these strategies are. So for this topic, what we've discussed boils down to each of the 5 AI giants is transforming business operations and productivity through AI. But they're doing it with distinct methods: integration, direct application, enabling tools, foundational models, and open source customization. Let's pause and resume shortly. Welcome back to Future Forward, everyone. We've covered the strategies and how AI is reshaping business productivity. Now for our final topic, let's get into the crucial aspect of Samsung's truly leading the AI race in 2026, as the intro suggests. This isn't just about who has the best tech, but who is making the biggest impact, who's innovating fastest, and who's shaping the future. Lucas, when you look at Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Amazon, and Meta, who do you see as having the strongest position or momentum right now, and why?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's incredibly dynamic. If we're talking about sheer momentum and influence on the generative AI landscape, OpenAI, despite being the youngest and smallest of the group, has had an outsized impact. Their work on models like GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 truly brought large language models into mainstream consciousness and forced the entire industry to pivot.
Yeah, ChatGPT really changed the game for a lot of people, myself included. It felt like a sudden leap forward. But is that enough to say they're leading this turtle race? Or is it more about setting the pace initially?
That's a good distinction. They set an incredibly high bar and dictated the conversation. However, for the broader AI race, especially looking at sustained leadership and comprehensive integration into business and everyday life, Microsoft, with its strategic partnership with OpenAI and its deep enterprise reach, is incredibly strong. Their ability to embed AI into the tools billions of people already use daily is a massive advantage.
Right. It's like OpenAI created the powerful engine, and Microsoft is building the most popular car model that everyone wants to drive. But what about Google? They have such deep roots in research and AI. Surely they're still a major contender for the lead?
Oh, absolutely. Google is always a contender. Their fundamental research capabilities are arguably unparalleled. They've been doing AI research for decades. Their Gemini models are incredibly powerful, and their ability to integrate AI across their vast array of services, search, Android, cloud, means they have the potential for massive, widespread adoption. The question for Google is sometimes about execution and how quickly they can translate their research breakthroughs into widely adopted, user-friendly products that capture public imagination in the same way ChatGPT did.
So they've got the brainpower and the infrastructure, but maybe the public-facing impact hasn't quite caught up to the tech yet. It feels like a balancing act between innovation and accessibility.
Precisely. And then you have Amazon. While they might not always be the headline grabber in the generative AI space, their AI leadership is undeniable in its practical impact on commerce, cloud computing, and logistics. AWS is the backbone for many AI startups and enterprises, and their own AI-driven optimizations are what make their retail empire so dominant. They're leading by enabling others, and by perfecting AI for operational efficiency. It's a different kind of leadership, more foundational and pervasive.
Gotcha. So they're leading by being the essential infrastructure and the ultimate optimizer. What about Meta? Their open source strategy is unique. Does that give them a path to leadership in 2026?
Meta's open source approach is a bold play. If they can foster a vibrant ecosystem around their models, it could position them as a central figure in the open AI movement. This democratizes AI development, which is a powerful ideological stance. For leadership, it depends on how well that ecosystem thrives, and whether it leads to practical, widespread adoption of their technologies in ways that challenge proprietary systems. They're betting on community-driven innovation to propel them forward, and the success of Llama 2 and subsequent models suggests it's a viable strategy.
It's like they're trying to win by making everyone else better, which in turn makes them indispensable. It's a very different kind of competition. So looking at all of them, it feels less like a single winner and more like different kinds of leadership emerging.
I think that's the most accurate way to see it right now. Microsoft is leading in enterprise integration and enterprise AI adoption through its partnership. OpenAI is leading in pushing the boundaries of core model capabilities and setting the pace. Google is leading in fundamental research and has the potential for broad integration across its massive user base. Amazon is leading in AI-powered commerce and cloud infrastructure. And Meta is leading in the open-source AI movement, fostering community-driven innovation.
It really is a multifaceted race. It's not a simple sprint. It's more like a complex relay with different legs being dominated by different teams, and sometimes the same team is running multiple legs really well. It's definitely not a straightforward path to one single leader, especially when you consider the sheer scale of these companies and their diverse strengths. It's like they are all building different parts of the future, and the winner might be the one who integrates their part best with the others, or the one who's most adaptable when the rules of the race change.
Exactly. The landscape is constantly shifting. What seems like a dominant position today could be challenged tomorrow by a new breakthrough or a strategic shift from a competitor. It's the dynamic nature of innovation in this field that makes it so compelling to watch.
So after all this, essentially the core idea is the AI race in 2026 isn't about a single winner, but a spectrum of leadership across different domains: enterprise integration, model innovation, research, infrastructure, and open source development, with each of the 5 giants carving out their distinct influential territory. Wow, Lucas, this has been absolutely fascinating. We've gone from their overall strategies to how they're impacting business productivity, and now looking at who's really in the lead. It's clear that the AI landscape is incredibly complex and rapidly evolving.
It certainly is. It's a space that rewards constant innovation and strategic foresight.
And it's so cool to see how these giants are shaping, well, everything. It's been incredibly insightful hearing your take on it all. This discussion really brings to life the narrative from our opening scene about these 5 companies vying for dominance in 2026.
Happy to share my perspective. It's a topic I find endlessly interesting.
Me too. Well, that wraps today's episode of Future Forward. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone.